Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. Ishekiri community protest proposed ward delineation report released by the Independent National Electoral Commission in Delta State. Despite court orders, Rivers State Sole Administrator Ibok Etebas appoints new local government administrators and State Electoral Commission chairman. And away from Nigeria, Gabon's pivotal election set for Saturday as junta chief Oligui faces 7 challenges. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. Now let's begin in Delta State, where some members of the Ishekiri ethnic group in Delta State, South Nigeria, earlier today staged a peaceful protest over the recent INEC delineation of political wards in Warri Federal Constituency. Now, the protest took place at the Shell Flow Station, Ogidigben, Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State. Our correspondent, Austin Azu, is right now in the community and brings us an update. I will let you know when we have Austin. Away from that, to Rivers State, where the sole administrator, Ibok Etebas, has made significant moves to strengthen governance in the state, announcing the appointment of administrators for all 23 local government areas. In addition, Ibas has appointed Michael O'Day as the new chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RSEC. The administrator also approved the reconstitution of several boards of agencies, commissions and parastatals that had previously been suspended. These decisions are aimed at enhancing the state's administrative functions and ensuring more effective governance as Ibas continues to lead Rivers State. Now we're going back to Delta State, where we have our correspondent Austin Azu joining us for an update on the protest going on by the Ishekiri people. Now, Austin, earlier this was a breaking news and you said quite a lot, but what more can you tell us about the protest?
First, good afternoon. We are currently at the Shell Flow Station in Ogidigbe, and this place you are seeing here, you can see a large population of youths who have converged here since yesterday to protest against what they called injustice over the recent INEC delineation of political wards in Warri Federal Constituency. And from a far distance, you can see there's a canopy over there, and on the other side there's a canopy. And on my left-hand side, you will see a cow that is tied down to this particular this thing we are seeing over there, and it means that they are going to slaughter this cow tonight for them to remain here. According to what they said, that they are going to stay here until their voices are heard by the federal government, and precisely for the federal government to prevail on INEC to rescind their decision over the recent INEC delineation. We have Louis here with me. Please, Louis, step forward. Okay. Tell us more. What are you people doing here? How long are you going to stay here? What's the form takes?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Otimen Louis. We actually came here because we are forced to come out in respect of the INEC delineation. Yeah. I think some days ago, they called all stakeholders from the 3 Warri Federal Constituency for a meeting. At the end of the day, they brought out a document and handed over to them. And on getting there, after handing over the document to them, they never allowed them, they did not give them the room to hear their voices or to review what was inside the documents. They only said they should go home and review and get back. If they are not satisfied, they should get back to them. So I think my people who went there, my leaders who went there, after getting there, they opened the document and saw that it was pure bias reports. So they had no other option than to fall back to us, and on hearing what they brought votes from INEC. We had no other option than to fall back here because initially we had 6 wards here and he just had 4. So all of a sudden they came up with 5-14. They just turned out to be the ones who came out with 14 wards, while we who had 6 wards, became 5. So it's pure marginalization.
Okay. Now, before the announcement of INEC for this delineation of more wards, Supreme Court has ruled on this. Before Supreme Court ruled on this, people protested, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, after the ruling of the Supreme Court, you are still protesting. What do you think this thing can take you to?
We did not actually protest before the Supreme Court ruling. We only questioned it. By the end of the day, they went from behind to get a Supreme Court judgment unknown to us. But yeah, fast forward to today, it's the report they gave, brought out. So we have chosen not to accept it because we believe in as brothers and sisters here in our local governments. Knowing that we have 6 wards. Why they have 4 wards rather. You understand? But at the end of the day, we have an understanding that we are living as brothers and sisters here. So we have an understanding of rotation. First we take local government chairman, the next tenor they just to take. But at the end of the day, they feel they are not contented with it. They want to do whatever they want to do. We want to do and get that.
Because of water time, we'll allow you to stay by this side. Okay, we'll come to you later. Okay, we have Eriwa Sheriff. He's the PRO of Ogidibbe community. Okay, please tell us, how long are you going to remain here and what will be the impact of this protest?
Good afternoon, thank you. How long we are going to stay here depends on how quick and possible the federal government respond to our hate over the abnormality of INEC against our constituency, Warri Southwest. And going forward, we don't have much issue. Like what we are hearing, we are not comfortable with the INEC deletion results that we got recently, because actually we have 6 wards while our neighbors have 4. But the painful part of it is 2 issues here. They inflated their own. We don't know how they have the magic with INEC. However, we don't want to know that too. And the greatest surprise, we that have 6 become 5. So it becomes something of if I can fight, let me just shout and let the world hear my voice, and if I can die for that, there's no problem. But the world should know my pains.
Okay, in a clear terms, do you want yours to be increased to 6 or increased to 9, or what do you want?
Okay, in a clear sense, it's simple. It's simple. Let's go to 4, 6 and increase both. That will be okay, because if you are increasing 4, you should increase 6. So I believe with that we should be the dominant, because out of the 3 Warris, let me speak this. Out of the 3 Warris, the Shekri is the dominant. Talk to Warri Southwest, Warri South, Warri North, we are the dominant there.
Okay, let's look at the population, for instance. The last census conducted here, it means that probably those people have. Okay, because of time, we'll come back to you. Okay, all right. From what they are saying, they are only appealing to the federal government to prevail on the INEC, so that INEC will be able to increase their own wards, so that they will have more, representatives in arms of government within the local government, within the federal constituency of Warri.
Yes, thank you so much, Austin, for that. Now we move on away from that. In the meantime, a total of 11 governors from the People's Democratic Party have approached the Supreme Court, challenging President Bola Tinubu's powers to suspend a democratically elected structure of a state. Now, the governors are asking the Supreme Court to determine whether the president has the constitutional authority to suspend a democratically elected state structure. They are also questioning whether the manner in which President Tinubu declared the state of emergency in Rivers State violates the 1999 Constitution. The plaintiffs in this case include the governors of Adamawa, Enugu, Osun, Oyo, Bauchi, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Delta, Taraba, Zamfara, and Bayelsa states. Joining us to unpack the development in Rivers State is Victor Atewe, a political strategist based in Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us, Victor.
Thank you so very much for having me, and a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. All right, so Victor, now the sole administrator has appointed local government administrators, despite a court order saying that he shouldn't. Are you surprised? Are you worried? How do you feel about this?
To be honest, I feel very sad. It's really a sad day and a sad one for democracy in our country, seeing to the fact that illegality, that's been played out at the high level of impunity you see playing at the highest level of governance. And, of course, a lot of legal minds and, of course, legal institutions has criticized the state of emergency and, of course, had called that the president, does not have the jurisdiction, so to say, or the local standing to unlawfully declare a state of emergency and remove a democratic elected governor, but having to put in an administrator where we don't have the provision for in our constitution, and seeing the level of impunity being played by the so-called administrator, electing, or let's say appointing other administrator under what law, under what provision, or what power does the administrator so have to appoint administrators in the 23 local governments across Rivers State, and a lot of reconstituting of boards and dissolving and all that. So it's really a sad day. I'm really worried, and this goes to show that our democracy, or so-called, or this democracy we so practice, is in dire need of help, and this is not a good way to start or a good way to go. Even though a lot of people will want to give into what happened during the former President Obasanjo, that shouldn't be the yardstick for our growing democracy, because we always come out to say our democracy is growing, and we must be seen to practice true democracy, not the one that is, to me, I'll say, it's a totalitarian style of governance.
All right, Victor, now speaking of practicing... Speaking of practicing true democracy, Victor, this latest, step that the sole administrator took, where does it leave the conversation on peace building in Rivers State? Because so far, it doesn't look like there's a crisis to resolve, and there is politicking to do.
Well, if I'm to get you right, I think what it would leave, I think the people of Rivers State are just watching the how event unfolds, and of course you see that the state has been captured. Seriously, have been captured, and I'm just wondering what the stakeholders in the state, what they're saying, or how they perceive the whole thing to be. But for me, I think it's all political motivated. Of course, there's a strong will and a strong power behind the sole administrator, so that's why it's just doing things unconstitutionally and damn the consequences. So I think it's going to leave the state in a very worrisome, and I believe that it's high time that the major stakeholders in Rivers State need to come up and speak up. And I really commend the PDP governors for what they've done, challenging the suspension of an elected governor of a state, to the Supreme Court. I really commend them for that. I think they need to be more, they need to intensify that pressure, because we can't set this back precedent. It's not good for our democracy, and it's going to, it's not pointing us in a good light in the international community. So I think it's going to leave the state in a very state of disarray, and it's going to leave them wondering, what power constitution is he operating from? So that's it for me.
All right, well, Victor, so far we've seen the sole administrator appoint local government administrators, and also appointed, a new head for the State Independent Electoral Commission. And obviously it won't be long until fresh local government elections are held. What are your thoughts on this? Will this be appropriate?
I won't be surprised if he conducts, if he tends to go ahead to conduct, because given to all this appointing of state local government administrator and a new head, in the state electoral board, this is really unconstitutional. One can only wonder where is he getting his constitutional power to carry out such responsibility or such appointment. I'll leave that to the legal minds to contend with. But speaking from from the public view, I really think I won't be surprised to see him conduct the local government election, which is fast approaching, and that you will know that you can read the handwriting of the one where it's going to tilt towards. So, but I think it's not a good call for Rivers State, and I think well-meaningful Nigerians, this is our time. We need to cry out and stand against the impunity that is happening in our democratic system.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this, Victor. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you so very much for having me.
All right. So I'm told that our correspondent, Biola Festus, is also on standby to speak to us on this. Hello, Biola. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Biola, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so the Secret of Affairs has been some sort of silence since the appointment of this local government administrator. Now, the silence is very sounding that it's becoming worrisome to some political actors. When I say political actors, I'm talking about those who are supporting the suspended governor. They've been so quiet as well because things have not been what they expected. Now, their complaint has been, is this what the sole administrator was sent to the state to do? They've also asked questions such as, when is it going to start the reconciliation process, which is number one thing that he was sent to. I remember that when the president pronounced the emergency, he said that the sole administrator was to come to River State yes, between these warring parties and to protect peace and restore peace in the state. Well, I heard a South-Africa-based activist here, Charles Georgia, who's going to be giving us more insight into this early morning news of the appointment of administrators at the audio level. Could you please come closer? So, how did this news get to you? What are your thoughts on this new?
We'll try to reconnect with you at a later time for more updates on this. Thank you so much, Abiola. Now we move to security matters, where the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the immediate deployment of police tactical assets to troubled communities in Plateau State. When we come back after the break, we'll tell you more. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the immediate deployment of police tactical assets to troubled communities in Plateau State. This action follows a series of attacks and killings in the Bokos local government area that have plagued the region since March 28. In a statement released Wednesday, Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Dejobi confirmed that the deployment aims to restore peace, ensure the safety and security of all residents, and bring those responsible for these crimes to justice. He added that the Inspector General has directed Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operation, DIG Kwazi Yakubu, to spearhead the operation. Meanwhile, Plateau State Governor has revealed that bandits have taken control of 64 communities across the state, with a particular focus on Bokos, Barikin Ladi and Riom local governments. Now, speaking in a television interview on Tuesday, the governor outlined the ongoing attacks, which have resulted in over 50 deaths and the destruction of more than 300 homes in just the past week. He added that these communities, which survived similar attacks in 2023, are now facing renewed violence. The governor expressed his frustration over the lack of national attention to the crisis, which has plagued the state for over a decade. Despite these long-standing challenges, the Plateau State government says it has been working to assess the damage and provide relief materials to victims of the attacks. Still discussing security, the welfare of troops and officers of the Nigerian military have been classified as paramount in ensuring their dedication to duty and the security of Nigeria. Now, these were the words of Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, during his working visit to some army formations in Plateau State, north-central Nigeria. Correspondent Chizoba Anyonwe was there for News Central and now reports.
It is the second day of the visit of Nigeria's Army Chief to Plateau State. He was received at the 332 Artillery Regiment, Nigerian Army, Shandam, by the wives of officers and men of the command. The Chief of Army Staff inspected some ongoing projects and commended troops and officers for their dedication to duty. At the 3 Division Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Chukuba, Lieutenant General Oluyede also commissioned other projects and instructed that more residential blocks be constructed for personnel.
The problem is that we cannot have the resources to do everything at a time, but we do our best to ensure that things are better for you. As we speak, I've just directed that 10 new blocks again to be renovated within the barracks. And for your operations, I have ordered some vehicles to be given. For your children to go to school, I've told them that we should renovate one of the schools there. So we just keep on doing our best to ensure that soldiers get the best. We have commissioned the first set of 400 houses in Abuja. We are building another set in Abuja. We are building in Beijing. We are starting another one in Ibadan. So please subscribe and you will get as many as who would like to subscribe. There is no scam there.
General Oluyede commended the troops' bravery, urging them not to relent in their delivery while recommitting to improving their welfare for better results.
When you look at our constitutional responsibility, which is to defend Nigeria and support civil authorities to make things better and safer in Nigeria, then I charge you to do more. And it's imperative that you do more. Because without peace, there can't be any development. On my own, I promise to give my best to you, make things better for you, and on your own part, as a covenant, you must give your best to Nigeria. Am I clear? Yes, sir! So we have a covenant established that I will do my best and you do your own part. Is that clear? Yes, sir! Do we agree? Yes, sir! All right. So that is my message to you this morning. And I'm going to round up by commending you again for what you are doing. We are proud of all of you and we expect to do more.
The Chief of Army Staff wrapped up his visit by urging Nigerians to always collaborate with security agencies to ensure a better and more secure nation. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
More than 10 years have passed since displaced persons arrived at the informal IDP camp in Jere, Borno State, seeking refuge from the violent insurgency that forced them to abandon their homes. Now, over the years, the camp, which was never meant to house people long-term, has become overcrowded and increasingly difficult to live in. Now the displaced individuals are raising their voices, demanding resettlement to their communities to restore their dignity and hope for the future. News Central's Umari Kirawa completes the report.
For over 10 years, displaced families have taken refuge at this informal camp at Medina 2 of Jere local government area of Borno State. This is the makeshift shelter for Ladidi Ali and her 7 children who struggle to survive in the face of years of displacement.
Gaskiya mu yanzu dai inda ya kai mu inda za mu tashi mu bar wurin nan muna so dai ya kai mu gaba ɗaya wurin namu da inda zai iya gyara mana garin mu koma alhamdulillah ya gyara mana mu koma dan wannan zama ya ishe mu dan da asibiti ma tana zuwa tana ba magani ya asibitin ma shekaran jiya an kore su an ce sun gama aiki a Madinatu yanzu zazzabi ya sami ka ba ka shiga uku ba.
Armed with their relocation cards, they long for the day they will be resettled as the government continues its ongoing resettlement efforts across the state.
An ban waje nan na yanzu ta zo ta karba ta ce da cikin azumi ne da sun ka zo sun ka ci sun ban kwana uku mu tashi muka zo muka riƙe alfarma muka ce da Allah muna neman alfarma zuwa bayan sallar da kwana uku gashi nan sun kawar kabulo da yana filin ba na gwamnati bane na wasu bayan Allah sun ka taimaka mana sun ka gashi mu zo na sun zo sun karbe ba su talaba kun ba abin da suka ba mu sun ba mu kawai wulakanci kawai ga yaran ba makaranta ba kun fi sabilillahi fa.
These blocks are their major concern for now, as the government is said to have plans to evacuate and rebuild the place.
Mu dai muna roƙo a maida mu ƙauyen mu ko wannan katin da ya ba mu kudan shekara ɗaya da wani abu ya zo salame mu ƙara jari mu ƙara wasu abubuwa a ga shiru ba makaranta ba komai haka yara ga sunan kawai firin haka haka ba daɗi.
Yana da wani muhalli da zai muna za mu iya zuwa mu zauna in kuma zai iya gyara muna garinmu ko garin ma namu in ya gyara ce mu je za mu iya zuwa mu zauna garinmu.
Having heard from the displaced persons at Madinatu camp in Jere, I reached out to state government officials for further clarification on how the government intends to address such concerns of its citizens.
Now that you brought this matter, I know definitely the state is going to look into this matter again to make sure that to see if these people are actually the people that are supposed to be resettled after all odds, because you know, the last time, you know, there are issues like this, some of them that were resettled at Baga, and you can see a number of them are still coming back. I can tell you this one clearly. Majority, you know, we have countless number of people that are not even born ones, you know, and then according to, because of this resettlement, so they are just coming to regroup and find somewhere to make a livelihood.
The big question now is, what is the government doing to tackle the growing concerns of displacement, particularly the informal camps, some of them who even have relocation cards? With no clear timeline for resettlement, residents fear that the situation will worsen if no action is taken soon. Many displaced persons, particularly that of Madinatu, Al-Miskin, Ulari and Gubio informal camps, are skeptical, wondering if their wait for resettlement will ever end. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Days after the Julius Abure-led faction of the Labour Party held its National Executive Council meeting, the Nenadi Usman-led Caretaker Committee is convening its own NEC meeting in Abuja, which also passed a vote of confidence on the Caretaker Committee chairman and leaders. Now, dignitaries in attendance included the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, and Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, who read the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment to party leaders before leading a team of party faithful to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission to submit it. Following the reactions that have trailed construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Nigerian investors in the diaspora had alleged that the Ministry of Works under David Umahi diverted the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road under construction in the Okwaja area, which led to the destruction of properties worth millions of naira. The minister, however, says no investment was destroyed. News Central's Israel Eferabo now completes the report.
In an escalation of the controversy surrounding the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, a U.S.-based investor, Stella Okengu, is demanding transparency from the Federal Ministry of Works. This follows recent comments by the Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, in Lagos, which have sparked accusations and counter-accusations.
We have all our documentation. We have the coastal road right-of-way clearance. We have our governor's consent. We have everything.
She said, from what I read in social media, that she has invested $250 million US. You can see a background. The only reasonable thing you are seeing is our son that we are passing. We are passing, but by overriding public interest, we are acquiring land, left and right, for, the development of the country and for return on investment on this.
The friction between the Federal Ministry of Works and the US-based investor has taken a legal and public turn. Some of the US-based investors bear their minds on the development.
I want to come, I want to bring investors there too. Yes. But the problem is, you make me hesitate. Because now I got trepidation, because if you hurt the woman, what would you do to me?
This goes beyond investment. This is about the unlawful corruption in Nigeria that has been going on for many, many years and generations and decades.
In his remarks, Minister Umahi expressed skepticism about the scale of the investment.
The Lagos state government is the owner of land. They give us right of way. I'm all the way from Abuja. My duty is just to pass. That woman is a very funny woman, and she's wasting her time.
In trying to find a solution to the disputes on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, the minister disclosed that the matter is already in court.
$250 million, you know, he can no way to go and make such a claim, not us. And again, the matter is in court, and the court has warned the woman to stop, darkening counsel without knowledge.
With legal threats looming and tensions rising, the controversy surrounding the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway promises to continue to draw national attention for much longer. In Lagos, for News Central, Israel Ifirobo.
Coming up after the break, concerns as crisis looms in Kenya's Turkana County following U.S. aid cuts. We'll tell you more in a moment. Join us again. In Central Africa, Gabon is set to vote this Saturday to choose a new president, with junta chief Brice Oligui Nguema the front-runner following his August 2023 coup that ended more than 5 decades of Bongo family rule. Now, the 50-year-old career soldier Oligui is confident of a historic victory against 7 challengers, including Alain-Claude Nze, the former prime minister under the ousted president. Our voters will cast their ballots between 7:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. with results expected by April 16. Oligui has sought to reinvent his image as the candidate of the people, despite critics accusing him of maintaining ties to the corrupt system he promised to dismantle. The nation watches closely as it faces a pivotal moment. Now we head to East Africa, where the director of a major hospital in Kenya's largest and most impoverished country or county is deeply concerned at a halt in U.S. aid threatens essential medical services. With U.S. support ending, the facility will face shortages of critical medicines by next month. Turkana County, which borders Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda, has a population of almost 1 million, with many dependent on foreign assistance. The U.S. government recently cut funding to USAID, which had been crucial in providing medical supplies and staff. In other news from around the world, China has once again responded to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff policies by raising its tariffs on U.S. imports to 84%, up from 34% effective April 10. Now, this decision follows the recent U.S. tariff increase, which has pushed levies on Chinese goods over 100% since April 9. The escalating tariffs threaten to stall trade between 2 of the world's largest economies with the U.S., exporting $143.5 billion to China while importing $438.9 billion in 2024. Now, the Trump administration introduced a new tariff policy last week, warning against retaliation, though China has adopted a hardline approach. For more on this, I'm joined by our international correspondent, Afia Hagen. Afia, tell us what the latest on the higher tariffs for 60 countries that import into the U.S. is. You know, what is the latest that has actually come into effect today, and how have the markets reacted?
Yeah, that's right. So you have 60 countries, 60 of the worst offenders, as President Trump likes to put it, and higher tariffs have come in for those countries today. Now, European markets have opened already down, but dropped further after you had that announcement that you spoke of, where China said they were going to introduce an 84% tariff on U.S. imports. So DAX is down 4%. The French stock exchange as well is down 4% also. The US markets have also opened down, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, all of them opening down so far. So the countries hardest hit by the tariffs: China 104% tariffs, Vietnam 46% tariffs, Cambodia 49% tariffs as well. Now, on the back of these tariffs happening, you've got US-based global brands like Nike and Apple, who manufacture their goods outside the US, have seen steep falls in their share prices over the past few days as well. So yeah, the market's reacting quite badly, and we're going to see this for a while. Lots of analysts and commentators telling me this morning that we are in for a rough ride when it comes to the markets, and even if we do see any small bounces, any reclamation in those percentages, we are in for a rocky time.
All right, Afia. Now, China now has a hefty 104% tariffs on goods. What's next?
Yeah, absolutely. They decided to retaliate and put their own 84% tariff on US goods coming into the country from the 12th of April. But that's not all they're going to do. They've added 12 American companies to an export control list. That's a catalogue of items and products that might require an export license to leave the country, so more paperwork there. They're also adding 6 American companies to the unreliable entity list. This includes AI companies, and they've filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization as well, saying the US is violating international trade laws. The European Union also is preparing their counter tariffs, a range of counter tariffs. They were voting on that earlier on today. That could include a 25% tax on US products like motorbikes, boots, orange juice, things like that. So what we are seeing now is the fight back. You know, I think perhaps Trump thought that countries would just come to the negotiating table, which a lot of them are. But also countries are fighting back. They're not going to take this line down. And China especially is not going to kowtow or capitulate to the United States. It's going to continue showing strength.
Absolutely, Afia. Now, have any deals been made with a country, you know, or countries that are hoping to avoid these higher tariffs? Because you did say that some of these countries are trying to come to a compromise with the US.
Yeah, that's right. Countries are trying to do that. We saw Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House earlier on this week. The Italian Prime Minister is going to be in the White House next week, all about negotiating these tariff deals. We haven't heard of any deals so far, but Trump was boasting last night at a Republican event that essentially all these countries are trying to kiss the ring, that they're begging him, you know, for these deals. They're all trying to kiss his ass, as he put it. That's a direct quote. So there is a lot of negotiating going on behind closed doors. People really trying to get to the table, get in front of Trump and negotiate a better deal. And we'll see that over the coming weeks as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Afia, for that update. Now to sports, where the Nigeria Premier Football League Board has announced plans to investigate the incident that occurred during the March Day 32 clash between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City at the Lekan Salami Stadium. Disturbing images and videos from the encounter have circulated online, prompting the NPFL to express concern over the conduct witnessed after the game. Now, the board will convene an investigative hearing on Wednesday to review the events and determine appropriate disciplinary measures. This move aligns with the NPFL's commitment to maintaining high standards and enforcing the zero-tolerance policy on unsporting behavior. The board aims to ensure league matches are conducted in a professional and safe environment for players, officials, and fans alike. Beyond Limits captain Oluseyi Oguni is set to join Danish First Division side AC Horsens this summer, continuing the club's growing tradition of exporting young talent to Europe. The 18-year-old fullback, who rose through the club's youth system from the under-15s, will make the move after the current Nigerian League season. He first gained national attention during the NPFL Under-15 tournament, where he earned a spot in the team of the tournament. Oguni has since featured in the TCC League and represented Beyond Limits in global competitions such as the Gothia and Viareggio Cups. Now in his second full season, he captained the team to victory in Creative Championship Cup, defeating Dino Sporting Club 3-0 in the final. Yannick Sinner will return to tennis at next month's Rome Masters, maintaining his world #1 ranking. This comes after Alexander Zverev early exit from Monte Carlo yesterday. Sinner served a 3-month doping ban following an agreement with the World Anti-Doping Agency. The 23-year-old Italian's suspension ends May 4th. Zverev missed his chance to claim the top spot after losing to Matteo Berrettini in the Monte Carlo second round. The German admitted he's in his worst period since injury, struggling with form. Carlos Alcaraz, ranked 3rd in the world, begins his Monte Carlo campaign today. The defending French Open champion also missed opportunities to reclaim the top ranking during Singer's absence. But that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. We told you that Ishakiri community are protesting the proposed ward delineation report released by the Independent National Electoral Commission in Delta State. We also told you that despite court Finally, you heard that Gabon's pivotal election has been set for Saturday as Junta Chief Oligui faces 7 challenges. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do you follow us on social media? We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.